From steam to electric, sleeper to high speed, for more than 2 centuries, the British Railway has transformed how we move about. But with a creaking infrastructure plagued by industrial action,
London North Western Railway apologises for the disruption to your journey today.
I took a trip along some of the worst routes in England for cancellations and delays to see what's going wrong. It's just after 7 in Mossley in Greater Manchester, and we're about to join the morning commute. We're with Andrew Holstead, one of the thousands who every day rely on Britain's railway network, a network that is increasingly very hard to rely on.
When you get trains cancelled because you have issues with overcrowding, and it's getting worse at the moment. Unreliability has been an issue that's creeping up again.
We're joining the 7:58 TransPennine Express service that runs from Newcastle to Manchester Piccadilly. It's already called at cities like York and Leeds on the way. The train is already a few minutes late, not an uncommon situation, and on board it is standing room only. TransPennine's record and punctuality was so bad earlier this year that the government took control of its routes. The spreadsheet Andrew has on his phone is a catalogue of daily delays and cancellations, a fact of life for commuters.
7:58, which is the one which we're on now, has been cancelled 7 times in the last 2 months.
And tell me about that. What life is, what the routine of life now is? If you're...
Pretty much the last thing I do before I go to sleep at night is to check the trains to see whether they're running on time. And then first thing you do in the morning, rather than reach for a cup of tea or something, you pick the phone up and you check to see whether the trains are running.
We finally make it to Piccadilly, and not quite on time, Andrew will make it to the office. But his experience of life on the trains is shared by many.
It's awful. It's really unreliable for me to go down to London to do the work that I need to do.
It's quite a stressful experience because a lot of the time there are those delays, and sometimes you might pay extra for a ticket and not get a seat.
They just say cancelled, so you wait for the next one and then that says cancelled. And then eventually, after a couple of hours, they might say, sorry, there's no chance that we're going to get the train.
Next on our journey is the route regarded as the slowest intercity service in the country. This is the 12:57 Merseyrail train from Chester, wending its way through the Wirral to Liverpool Central. We are pulling out of Chester on time, headed to Liverpool Central. Let's see how long it takes. New trains and a track that isn't used by any other rail companies mean Merseyrail can boast a pretty good reliability record. Plenty of passengers seem happy. One familiar complaint, though, when the train skips a stop to make up lost time.
We bought a house right next to the train station because we didn't drive, so it's really important to us. There's only sometimes if there's a few that are late, they go straight from one stop all the way to another stop. They skip loads of stops out, which is always a nice stop.
Sometimes, especially in the summer, you have 2 carriages and it's absolutely
that's ridiculous.
packed.
That is so ridiculous.
It's not safe, really.
No, everybody's standing.
But across the rail network, the issue of increasing fares also worries passengers, with another price hike expected in March. Sky News looked at average single train fares for a mid-distance journey and compared this to other European countries. The UK came out as being the most expensive if you buy your rail fare on the day, paying just over £30 for a journey from London to Oxford, when a similar journey in Italy would cost less than £8. You could save a few pounds booking your ticket in advance. By comparison, fares across other European cities were largely unchanged. The Rail Delivery Group, which oversees rail infrastructure and costing, says the expansion of contactless pay-as-you-go payments is a step in the right direction as they continue to focus on creating a simpler, better value fares system and enhancing the overall passenger experience. On Merseyrail, bang on time, we arrive at Liverpool Central. It's a journey that's taken 48 minutes. To cover the 19 miles by road would have taken considerably less. Well, it's a frosty, sunny morning, and I'm about to get on the service that's broken records this year for unreliability. This is a service at the very heart of the question of how well the whole country is served by its railways. I'm on a 10 o'clock West Coast mainline train from Manchester Piccadilly to London Euston, run by Avanti West Coast, and calling at places like Stoke-on-Trent and Milton Keynes. Avanti was given a new contract by the government in September despite its poor punctuality record, and its service is under more scrutiny because of this.
I am cancelling the rest of the HS2 project, and in its place we will reinvest every single penny, £36 billion, in hundreds of new transport projects in the North and the Midlands.
The government scrapping the northern leg of HS2 put enormous focus on these existing services and whether they're good enough, or whether regular poor punctuality risks leaving the north behind.
We apologise for those customers who are delayed on their arrival here at London Euston today.
Can passengers trust that those new promised projects won't go south, just like HS2?
For far too long, we've had second-class rolling stock, second-class services on inadequate infrastructure in the north. The government said they want to correct that. We agree with that, but the jury's out as to whether it will actually happen or not.
The government says it'll continue to work closely with operators to ensure they provide the best possible experience and hold them to account if they let passengers down. For now, travelling north is often an uncertain journey. Greg Milam, Sky News, on Britain's railways.